So this is not going to be a comprehensive on Tim Ferriss, but I mean, it's one of these things that you know, when I get to it, like I've got a file on him, so I've done some stuff on him, but there's a lot more I don't know. But Tim Ferriss is a disgusting, self-promoting, egotistical scumbag, first of all. And those types of people are typically sociopaths. And you can tell by just, he's always, he wants you to tell you, yeah, he's great and this and that. And apparently, in his scammy book, The 4-Hour Work Week, he made all of his money from that book from fake reviews. Now, when I was exposing the digital nomad scam many years ago, the first person, probably the only person to do it, I didn't realize he was at the center of that. Now, I did come across many of these losers pitching his book, but in reality, he's at the center of the digital nomad scam, which is another topic of discussion. I've dealt with that. So let me show you what I've got here from his podcast. This is a Tony Robbins. So he's kissing Tony Robbins' ass. This is telling you, I've read pretty much everything you've put out. See? So he's a Tony Robbins. He's his mentor. That tells you all you need to know. Now this is another. Look at this fake. I mean, look at this. Now, he claims, and he wrote a book. This is fraud. He claims he gained. I mean, did anybody see Alex Jones's bogus? Let's see. Yeah. Do you guys see this from Alex? He's got these little fake pictures. You guys ever see this crap? Right? Because he sells, all these little potions and shit. You all know, right? I don't think these are the fake pictures. He's got a bunch of them, though. I've got some in my files, but this is one of them. I mean, anyway. So he's selling a book based on the premise that he gained 34 pounds of muscle in 1 month. Folks, let me tell you something. That's impossible. It's not possible. That's a fact. You see this? Tell me this is not fake. And there's other pictures, by the way. But another fraudster book that this scam artist, piece of garbage, pitched. It's fraud. It's fraud. Now, here's what Tim writes about himself. This and this garbage. Notice this. An early stage investor / advisor in Uber, Facebook, Twitter. This guy, did anyone read his bogus scam artist, fraudster, slimeball 4-Hour Work Week book? Anybody? Well, I didn't, but I know about it from comments and other sources. And the overwhelming theme of the book was that he lies, he says, to make stuff up and to exaggerate things. And so if you are, he just basically tells people to lie. To lie. That's what he's doing here. He's lying. He's lying. So look at this. 4-Hour Work Week, 4-Hour Body, 4-Hour Chef. What a piece of garbage. Honestly, I would pay maybe maybe all the money that I have, I would probably donate it to charity if I could somehow have Lord Jesus Christ make him somehow just disappear from the face of the earth. However, Jesus Christ wanted to do so. Put him on another planet or something. Get this guy out of the way of people. Stop scamming and defrauding people. He's a danger to society. Here we go. So you can see, this is in my files. It's been a couple of years since I need to go back and start researching this guy again, but the typical unwritten con artist alliance I put here. Quote, I'll kiss your ass and make you look great, but you need to return the favor. So you can read here, he talks about how he bought Tony Robbins' Scam Artist book. I bought Personal Power. It may have been Personal Power 2. And ultimately, that was one of the catalysts for me starting my first company. Tony Robbins. Wow, I'm really touched that knowing all you've done. So remember this up here, right? Typical unwritten con artist alliance. I'll kiss your ass and make you look great, but you need to return the favor. Wow, I'm really touched that knowing that all you've done that really touches me completely because you've been an inspiring character to me, not for 4-hour work week because I'm looking for the 4-hour sleep work at this stage. I feel a kinship with you. I have enormous respect for you. You understand, folks? This is a unwritten rule of con artists. Blow me and I'll blow you. And together we can get suckers to blow us and give us money at the same time. And then I've got here under Tony Robbins, con artists love to work in syndicates because they can intensify their con game to a much greater extent with more intensity. That's not good grammar, but you see this, folks? This is how you can tell. Like, you know. Here we go. Another, I'll kiss your ass and make you look great, but you need to return the favor. But there was a quote from Mr. Benioff of Salesforce. And you know what? This is how I think I realized that Salesforce was tied into Tony Robbins, which is why I've since dumped the stock. That's right. Salesforce is tied to Tony Robbins because Benioff and Tony now have a company, a bogus bullshit company. That's right. Benioff is promotes Tony Robbins. I suspect Salesforce is a fucking scam, is involved in scams. That's right. Because of Tony Robbins. Look at this. When I read this, Salesforce is done with me. I'm done with it. If there were no Tony Robbins, there would be no Salesforce.com. Tony Robbins is a career con man. Everyone here knows this, right? He's one of the biggest con men in the history of the world. Here we go. Tony Robbins. You got to come as my guest to an event sometime. Tim Ferriss. I would love to. And I put here, this is the setup for the next stage of Ferriss's con career. Probably is, right? And then we have the unwritten alliance. I'll kiss your ass and make you look great, but you need to return the favor. You can read this for yourself. So why would Tim suspect that a lot of people don't like him, right? I list 3 possibilities here. There are probably a lot of people who don't like me very much. So why would you say that, Tim? Think about that, folks. There are probably a lot of people who don't like me very much. Yeah, because they know you're a fucking scammer. You're a fraud. That's why. So there we have it. Any book that's got a lot of exposure, okay, if you want to know what the book is about, read the 1-star reviews. Because the books with a lot of exposure, number one, there's a lot of fake reviews. Number two, they have a cult of people who will either, they won't even read the book and they'll give it a 5-star because they're in the cult, they're fans. And or they read the book and they're cult members and they already know what they're going to read. So they're cult members, basically. So you have cult members and fake reviews, you see. So any book with a large amount of exposure, and we're going to go over Michael Lewis's book here next to show you, to prove to you. Always check the 1-star reviews if you want the truth. Okay? So let's take a look at this book. 18,411 ratings. #1 bestseller. Oh, it must be good. Okay. Notice, frequently bought together. Robert Kiyosaki. What do you see, folks? There you have it. You see, the same people who are buying this scammy ass book by Tim Ferriss are also buying Robert Kiyosaki, who, you know, is, I can't determine which one's a bigger scam artist, really. Robert Kiyosaki's been doing it a lot longer, but Tim Ferriss is younger. He's got more potential to be the ultimate scam artist. So let's take a look here, because I've already done some legwork, and I'm going to show you here. This was done a while back, so boom, here you have it. So yeah, take a look. When this was done, look, there were only 10,000 reviews. So he's got 8,000 more. Okay. So you read the book, you're like, wow, you know, flipped my thinking on its head. I'm honestly not entirely sure what to say about this book. The message is stop working harder. Start working smarter. As a USA Today best-selling author with multiple number ones under my belt, so you already know what this review is about. This review is about basically this guy kissing ass to promote his own books, by the way. Here's what you want to read. Terrible for starting your own business and living your life. The author attempts to promote his working lifestyle for the reader, broken down into 4 steps. I have to start by saying this book is written at a very low reading level and a lot of needless filler. Let's see what we have to say here. Okay. You can just read this. So he explains what the book talks about. The main focus is setting up a business online that sells things of little value, very overpriced, and attempting to automate that. Having worked in online marketing, I can tell you the information is outdated, vague, and not very thorough. If you want to set up a business online, I would recommend reading a different book. He also advocates calling yourself an expert and teaching courses. See, this is where the teaching courses comes from, folks. That whole industry expanded. This guy promoted, encouraged all these fucking course-selling scam artists. He advocates calling yourself an expert and teaching courses on topics you have no authority in. Should I repeat that? Now, if you don't believe this review, you can get the book and read it for yourself. I believe this review because I've heard this many times over and over again. Ultimately, this is where the book falls apart, as this is his central way to live the 4-hour work week, which if you take a look at his own life, he isn't living that way. That's right. Think about it. This guy's working overtime to fucking scam people. So let me read this again. He advocates calling yourself an expert and teaching courses on topics you have no authority in. You know, meet Kevin, right? All these fucking scammers. Graham Stephan also selling courses. That's right. All these guys. Where'd they get the idea from, folks? This guy, the grand schemer, the grand fraudster, Tim Ferriss. Hey, Tim, if you're listening to me, debate you on a neutral platform any day, easily steamroll you. You're a fraudster, a scammer, a piece of garbage. Conclusion. This book is for naive, weak dummies who hate their jobs and will take any terrible advice to give them hope. Ultimately, this book is like his own online business, which sold a product of little value he wasn't an expert in, which is what the book is. Excellent review. Read the negative comments. That they will tell you all you need to know. Even starting the first chapter, I could feel my BS odometer beginning to wiggle upward on the scale. About the time I got to the outsourcing, where he proudly admitted to paying someone $4 an hour to do his work for him, then read the result from one of his readers where a chef, was able to hire some brown person to cook for him at $5 a meal, leaving me to wonder if that chef would happily work for $5 to cook for someone else. That's when I realized that this covertly racist and utterly lazy method of making/saving money went against my every moral fiber. When I read parts of it to my husband, he shook his head and said it sounded toxic. Of all the other books you can read that will set your soul in the right place to earn money, this one screams selfish, greedy, lying, and morally bankrupt. Half of the stuff in here I can't even fathom working outside of getting you fired. The concept of it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission irks me in so many ways. Namely, that it takes a dire lack of respect to pull off. This book reeks of disrespect. I'll end by saying, read those negative reviews if you want a really solid look into what this book is about. Then the recycling bin it goes. Excellent review, very insightful. You getting an idea of this guy? So let me give you the premise of this book. This is a scam book, and you have to be, folks, normal people can't write such dishonest garbage. Just like normal people can't come up with dishonest scam companies like Uber and Airbnb. It takes a certain type of parasitic, predator, money-worshipping, satanic scumbag to do these things. A normal person's not going to do it. It's just really like, it's so, like you're leading a life of a lie. And you see a lot of this on YouTube with like Meet Kevin and Graham Stephan and so on and so forth. The same type of trash. You're talking about the same filth of people. Disgusting, morally bankrupt, shameless scammers who would sell their mother for a penny. Yet another in a series of Timothy Ferriss's worthless books. But there's nothing I could say that will sway you. Either you're a rational person and you'll quickly recognize this as foolish junk, or you're already in the 4-hour cult. At least Ferriss doesn't seem to have evil intent. He just wants to make money and maybe even believes he's helping people. But this is garbage. On the other hand, lack of evil intent doesn't take away the harm he causes. This is the guy that polarized the absurd diet advice, quote, don't eat white food, unquote, and having a cheat day once a week to gorge on all the horrible crap you want. So let me go ahead and give you the premise of this book. Basically, it's about and of course, it caters to miserable people, desperate people, and in some cases, people who are lazy. Perhaps many cases. Think about the title, The 4-Hour Work Week. Wow, I can work 4 hours. So you have to be a fucking idiot, first of all, to even buy that book. To fall for something impossible. He's selling hope and greed to the same types of idiots that fall for all these fake investment gurus on YouTube. So his premise is basically, look, you only have to work 4 hours. I'm going to show you how. Set up an online business. Sell from Amazon. Outsource everything. Pay some Indians to take your phone calls and to take your messages. Pay some Filipinos, so and so forth. That's what and sit on the beach and you're working 4 hours a week. Folks, I can tell you right now, guaranteed there's nobody in the world that's doing well with an online business that's working 4 hours a week. Okay? You're spending more time than that just in emails. Even if you were outsourcing everything, you're spending more time than that just in emails alone. Okay? But you see, this scam promoted all these digital dildos. And I know for a fact there's many of them who basically were paying people from other countries, low-income countries, low amounts of money to write Kindle books on stupid bullshit topics, and they were claiming that they were the author, and of course they were gaming the Kindle system because that's a whole other topic of discussion, and then they were selling their so-called book business. You see, basically you can write anything. Kindle has become like just online content. You can write any trash and get paid. And that's why you see the Kindle books for free. Well, it's free. Oh, okay. So the more people that read it, the more pages they read, you get paid, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Okay, the next review. I'm so depressed about the world. This gentleman developed a sports supplement supply chain company that's entirely self-centered. He's giving advice to others on how to be the same. Beginning and end. I am depressed about the state of the world many days, and today is one of them. Excellent statement. That's right. Skip it. I'm not sure how this has near perfect rating. Believe the lower ratings. This book is nothing of value. He provides useless stories which reads more of rant and self-appreciation for things such as getting nearly kicked out of kindergarten and losing 18 points of water weight in a day. Talk about facts meet fiction. Save your money for a book that will actually provide useful business and life tips. Condescending and awful. I read this book because my friend wanted me to read it. Quote, you read all the time, you need to read this book. Read it like my happiness depends on it, unquote, he said. So I picked it up and I struggled to read this book. It was awful. The author is condescending. He's a complete tool. No, he is the whole toolbox with an assortment of random screws thrown in. I was blessed with a youthful face. I now have wrinkles due to involuntary making a disgusted face while reading this book. I finished this book just barely, and I promptly told my friend how much I hated him for asking me to read this absolutely awful book. There was exactly one helpful tip I was able to take away from this book, and that was to only check your email twice a day. However, that tip was not worth having to read this ridiculous, quote, life hack, unquote, piece of trash. Go and read the 1-star reviews. There's people here, many reviews will tell you they think that they're gonna say they're saying that the reviews are fake. The 5-star reviews are fake. It's obvious. But you see, the problem is that once there's enough people that have good reviews on a book, there's many people that are influenced by that already, and they don't want to disappoint. It's the what's the test called? The psychological test of validation, the Ash test, right? You all know, right? This is how he made his money. And then from that, he spent off all these other scammy books and all the bullshit. Complete fraudster piece of shit. Tim Ferriss is an absolute scam artist. This is disgusting. I mean, you heard it from him. You saw it. You read it. There's a lot of people that don't like me. Why do you think they don't like him? Right?